Rings, watches, and bands of other kinds have a permanence in our lives, ladies and gentlemen. We could never have imagined this. Well, maybe the tech guys have imagined that, a particularly guy familiar to us. Michael Babcock is here to talk about wearables with us. Michael, welcome back.
The Apple Watch is a big piece of my wearable technology that I think about. I don't think about the Dexcom, even though I wear one every day, but the Apple Watch is on my wrist from the minute I go to bed to a little bit before I go to bed so I can charge it up. So this morning, at 5:30 in the morning, my Apple Watch tapped me on the wrist multiple times. I said, I don't want to deal with you right now. So I flicked to snooze on the screen. And then 9 minutes later, still not sure why it's 9 minutes, I got another tap. And at that point, I got up and then dismissed my alarm from my wrist and got a notification of the fact that I had X amount of notifications that were waiting for me. A couple of minutes later, I got another notification from Sleep Plus Plus, which gave me a recap of the amount of sleep that I got and in what stages I was in that sleep when I was calculating that over my Apple Watch. And all of that is done from a device that is a computing device on your wrist. It allows you to capture all of that data and then send it to people who might need it or physicians to help make informed decisions.
Yep.
That's what I
It's very, very impressive in how much
really
it can track and how much information you have like in real time. How much of it is important to you or actually practical for you?
For me, so my mom passed away at just past her 40th birthday due to heart-related issues. And so I appreciate having, even though it may not be the most accurate data or all of the data I need, I have something on my wrist that is monitoring to tell me if there's anything that I need to be concerned about with my heart. And thankfully right now I have not. But I think that data right there is enough to make the Apple Watch worth it for me.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And I get that. I mean, trusting in the accuracy, Michael, tell us about that for the people out there saying, are these devices, can they be really ever truly accurate? We know better to suggest that replace a doctor or, a scan in the hospital.
I think it's less about the accuracy and more about the using the data that's being captured in conversations with your physician, because that can make a big difference. That they might notice something that to the Apple Watch software doesn't seem concerning, but when they're reviewing the data that you have, they might say, hey, we should watch this a little more. I want you to come in 3 months instead of 6 months.
Well, it's just way more information than what you could provide them without the Apple Watch, right? Like if you're talking symptomatically, you probably have a fraction of what this thing can tell the doctor to begin with, to even start noticing anything.
And you can I was going to say, you can capture that content on your Apple Watch using apps like Just Press Record or Drafts. And that will allow you to say, hey, today I didn't feel very good when I got out of bed and I got lightheaded in the afternoon. And then you and your physician or someone else can go back and look at that data and say, oh, this might be why. Maybe we should look at monitoring your blood pressure more or other items. And just having all of that data on your wrist right there is amazing. And then you can set up reminders and say, hey, remind me to bring this information up to my doctor the week before your next doctor's appointment. So just having that integration is pretty helpful.
For sure. Anything particular, though, that you find easier to use, not easy to use, or prefer with your setup, with your use of it so much? You probably have some hints for people, too, of, hey, this is how quick this can happen. This is where people can use it. What about the size of the screen, for example, Michael? You have a preference?
So I used to use what my wife and I lovingly refer to as a baby watch, because it was the smaller Apple Watch SE. And she's used an Ultra for probably since just after they came out, an Apple Watch Ultra. And she upgraded to the 2, because that's how it happens in my family. The tech person gets the leftovers and she gets the new things. But she upgraded to the Ultra 2, and I ended up with her Ultra. And honestly, I can't go back to a smaller watch anymore, because that big screen does make a difference to be able to quickly navigate around the screen, find the icons, tap on what you need. So
Agreed.
the other factor is the Ultra and the Ultra 2 have a button opposite of the crown and the side button called the action button. And I forgot about this until I got her watch. Well, that action button can be assigned to shortcuts. So I used to have a shortcut because I had a 15-minute break and I had to be back after that 15 minutes. So I used to have a shortcut on my Apple Watch as a complication that I would tap on it and it would start running a count up timer. So it would give me 14. Well, actually, I think it was set to like 13:30, and it would let me know when that timer was up so I could run back upstairs and go back to my office and make sure that I was signed in and everything ready to go. Now with the action button, I think it would be easier to just hit that and then that shortcut run. Although we're going to talk about something here in a minute briefly that I think with the use of shortcuts and action buttons and complications, the Apple Watch could become your wrist-worn memory assistant.
Wow. Okay. And how, again, because we know AI is creeping in everywhere, is that associated with what you're utilizing this way, that way, checking on you, or keeping track?
Yeah. So Apple Watch, the battery's still horrible. And I mean that I get about a day and a quarter of the Apple Watch of the battery on the Ultra 1. So I got intrigued by this device that I'm going to hold up here, and it's a wristband. And this is the B wrist-worn smart assistant. It can pop out of the band here, and it's this little rectangle device with a single button on it that you can use to engage with the device, and it has a 7-day battery life.
Wow.
You can
Nice.
wear it around. Yeah, you can wear it around your wrist or put it in this little clip here that I'm also holding up that you can clip it to your shirt pocket or something, and that will allow you to always have the B on you. It charges via USB Type-C, and it takes about 2.5 hours to charge it up. The most impressive part about this is it's $49. You're not going to find an Apple Watch for that price. What the B does is, you can set it up to process conversations. And by that, number one, I got a little creeped out because I don't know when it's listening unless I open the app. And not that I have any bad conversations, but there's some conversations that you don't want processed. So what B does is it takes a transcript of the conversation that you have and it summarizes it using AI. That gives you the ability to do things like fact check the information. Not quite sure what it's fact checking it against, but fact check it. Or you can process the conversation, which will summarize it and make a list of items that need to be added to your to-do list, for example. And it will give you a summary of your day based on all the conversations you processed. The app is fairly accessible. You can use your Apple Watch to be your B, so you don't need to have a physical device. There currently is not a subscription for the B individuals who purchase the wearable, and I don't know of any details about the subscription for the Apple Watch. The concern is you don't necessarily know where the data is going.
Thanks for tuning in to Kelly & Company. Follow us on all social media, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more.